Hi, Prema here, and welcome to Chart Your Path. This is your full moon update for August 2021, and we have a very, very powerful, transcendent full moon that's really putting the light on this truth and deeper truth coming up, and power to the people, this collective and communal power that how can we come together? Also, at the same time, illuminating leadership, both our personal leadership and how our leadership, our missions can support the shift, the change that we're in. Some of the destruction of what's not working, what beliefs we have that are no longer serving us, or ways of being that are just aren't working anymore. So there's an energy of death and rebirth and starting and beginning and endings. And also, there is a great powerful aspect for wealth and material wealth. Before we dive in, I want to remind you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the updates, and feel free to share as well. And at the end of our time together, I'll share with you some more of the updates and how you can also get a reading or come in and do some deeper work with me. This full moon in Vedic astrology is happening in Aquarius, and that is directly across from Leo. So we've got Aquarius, the sign of the people. We've got Leo, where the sun is residing right now, because of course a full moon happens when the sun and the moon are opposite one another. And that's the placement of kings and queens and leadership, and how we manage that leadership and how we manage that personal power is really up for us, and how can that serve us and serve the people. This is happening at 5 a.m. on Pacific time on the 22nd at about 5 degrees of Aquarius in the nakshaktra, the very powerful nakshaktra of Denesta. And this is owned by Saturn. This placement is owned by Saturn, Aquarius is, and that's ruled with the advocate, the great organizer, the administrator in the Sacred Wealth Code system. And this is incredibly special and incredibly powerful because the moon is very close, just about conjunct with Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is super strong. In fact, it's the strongest it's going to be all year. And when you look in the heavens, now you will see, and on that full moon on the 22nd, you will see the bright star, the planet that is next to the moon is Jupiter. So look up and see that. It's a wonderful, amazing sight. Let's remember what Jupiter is about. Jupiter is the great guru, as we say in Vedic astrology. It is the planet of light, of hope, of transcendence. In the Sacred Wealth Code system, this is the sage. I have the sage behind me here, the teacher, and also the great visionary, because Jupiter holds a greater vision, wants to have that bigger vision for us, and is very concerned with the truth. What it really is the truth, and let's hold that truth, and let's shine the light and have hope. It is it's the brightest planet, and it's also, again, here to illuminate the truth and bring that higher awareness to us. Now, so we've got this, all these planets in Leo. Mars is in Leo, the great honorable warrior. So is the communicator. Mercury's there. And the planets in Leo, and the sun, of course, the great leader, is there. And so we've got this juxtaposed position and this contrast going on. Leo is leadership, and leadership is a beautiful thing. We need leadership. And you can see leadership is shifting in the world, and some of it is being, we need a shift in leadership, let's put it that way, and that all happens from the inside out for all of us. Your personal leadership, how you're leading yourself, is very much up with this full moon, and for you to take a closer look at how are you, what are you leading, and how are you leading yourself? I'm a big advocate. My purpose is around living from the inside out, leading from the inside out. When we do that, we're leading from the heart. When we're leading from the heart, we're connected to our unity. This is a more feminine way of leadership, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman. And that leading from the heart, and that really is the true essence to me of the true leader. Let's lead from the heart. Let's consider the whole. And at the same time, move your personal mission out in the world. And how can you move your personal mission out in the world and have it serve the collective? That's the question that's really up with this full moon. And there's some deeper truths that are ready to come to the surface for you on what that is, how that is, what that looks like for you. And I'm also really curious, what is percolating for you? What is your personal mission, and what are you leading, or what are you being called, and feeling that deeper call, that tap on the shoulder, like, I thought, I need to, this is where I need to step out and lead even more. Either what you're leading, how you're speaking about it. Maybe you're hanging back. And, it's just such an incredible time of polarization right now, and that sometimes it's in this kinds of time, it's hard to connect with what's really true for ourselves and not feel pulled one way or another. This is where we do want to take, I don't want to call it the middle road, but I want to call it the place of the heart. This is the place of, what is the true path for you? And what are you being called to take in more of a stand for that, again, serves the whole? So with this happening in Aquarius, being we're feeling those power struggles around socially, and we're in this big paradigm shift, and how you serve that, how you think, how you feel, the choices you make, and what are you leading? How are you leading yourself? Are you leading yourself from the heart? It's not happening every minute for all of us, but how could we do that more so? Because we must come together, and that's what Aquarius wants for us. That's what this full moon wants for us. That's what Jupiter wants for us. How can we come together more as a collective so that we can all move together in a direction that is for the highest good for all of us? Denesta, this part of Aquarius, is also known as the Star of Wealth. It is a very material placement as well. It's strong for creating wealth, for creating materiality. And I believe when we do that from the inside out, and that's why I'm passionate about us understanding ourselves better, and that's how I use Vedic astrology, and the Sacred Wealth Code system was born from that. Because if you understand how you're wired, what wealth even means to you, to me, it's what you need to fulfill your purpose. The resources. It's not just money. Money is a piece of that, but what it personally means to you. So it'd be good for you to connect into, what is the wealth that you need to fulfill this purpose, that what it is that you are leading at this time. You can journal about that, really look at your life, and think of it wealth also as like, what are the resources that you need? It's connections, and we don't do any of this alone. Yes, again, money is definitely part of that, but maybe it's knowledge. What are the resources? Maybe there's tools that you need in order to, again, step more into your leadership and move your mission out and serve the whole at the same time. The 8 Vastus are the deities that are represented here, and they are the deities of energy and light, and they represent all aspects of self, mind, body, soul, and are connected to all aspects of life. And at the same time, they call us to our higher virtues, and also Lord Shiva is also represented here. And Lord Shiva is represents this great power of creation and destruction. And we're always birth and death, endings, beginnings. So there's the power here to destroy, dissolve the limited ways maybe that you're thinking, or any structures in your life, belief systems, connections, even relationships that are not serving. Or I want you to notice what's falling away. Lord Shiva has a way to stand right in the center of the storm, right in the center of it all, center of the chaos, the Shiva Nataraj, and stand in the center with the Maya, the chaos, the world swirling around. But in the center, where it's quiet and still. And if you give yourself that time to be quiet and still in the center, then you can connect into the truth. You can let fall away what needs to fall away. And remember, whatever is falling away is making space for something new to be born. And Lord Shiva teaches a lot about detachment, because if we are willing to let that cycle of life come through us, then we continue on the path of growth. So what's falling away for you? Love to hear about that in the comments. And, or what is the chaos going on that you need to find the still point, the center point, just like the storm, the tornado. When you that's where all the power is right in the center. It doesn't matter what's going on. You can find that stillness. You can find the truth. You can find your freedom. You can find the next step, or you can weather the storm by not getting caught in it. And what does that look like? It looks like drama when you're getting caught in it. It looks like being really attached to a particular outcome will definitely catch you in the storm as well, where you just, it'll exhaust you. It'll totally drain you. Be willing to really sit in the center. Take some time for meditation. Take some time to really, if you're finding yourself in the storm, and we are collectively in a storm right now, and find that place within, so you know the true path for you to walk. Lean into Jupiter's there. Lean into greater knowledge, spiritual text, teachings that are, lead you along your path. So we're being called into a greater depth. Now, this is a wonderful time with this nakshatra, with this full moon, for vibrational healing, for sound healing, for mantra, for using your voice, for singing, and any kind of music. This also represented here is by a drum, and that beat of the drum is keeping the rhythm of divine timing. And there is a rhythm to things, and in that rhythm, again, there's the beat, and then there's where there's not the beat. And so the energetics of sound are very powerful here and potent for this time that we're going through with this full moon. Also, with this particular time is we have with all the planets across the zodiac in Leo standing up for our leadership, and the honorable warrior standing in there very strong. That's Mars, and the sun, the leader, the great king, queen. These are strong Kshatriya planets. These are warrior type planets. They are meant to serve a higher purpose. And that's exactly what we want to connect into. So leadership, the edge of leadership right now in the time that we are in through almost the end of I would say through the end of the month. Yeah, just you want to connect with what you're personally here to lead and what your purpose is, and how can you take those steps forward and connect in with others also that are like-minded, like-hearted around that. What you want to be careful of is that misuse of power. I mean, we see it socially, we see it collectively, and that misuse, because it's very strong for leadership, but it can go either way. So make the choice to step in, lead from the heart. That's a more feminine way of leading, and tuning in and really being sensitive to what's good for you and is truly good for you. Doesn't take away from anybody else. What's good for you is good for others. When it's really good for you, it's good for everyone concerned. So just be aware of that. The honorable warrior, Mars, is super strong, and for you, if that's very, very strong, it needs to sort of be fighting the good fight. So that's just about taking a stand for what you're for, not from righteousness, but from a leadership placement, and not standing strongly for what you're against. Stand stronger for what you're for. Don't feed what you're against. And then we also have Mercury is in that placement too. And Mercury and Mars are doing a close dance together right now. So be careful about your communication and your reactions. Okay, you want to respond and not react. So take a breath. Okay, don't reply back by attacking the keyboard to an email. Just take some breaths. The communication is a little hot and fiery right now. That's going to cool down as Mercury goes into Virgo on the 25th. Mercury is exalted in Virgo, the great communicator. This is the great merchant as well, and the great messenger. And it's going to come into, and it's going to retrograde in this placement. I'll talk about that in the next update. Not till the end of September is the retrograde. It's going to spend almost 2 months exalted in Mercury. We're going to be able to get down to the details of our missions, put some order to things. It's a great, great, great time of healing. So more to come on that. That will also uplift on the 25th Venus. Venus is in Virgo right now, and Venus is not so strong in Virgo. It can be a little pissy because we're uncomfortable. Venus isn't about the details of things. Venus is about the joy of life and connecting and creativity. And the best way to continue to ride this transit, as I talked about in my last update for the new moon for August, is to use your creativity. Get into how you can bring some beauty in simple things, like just even me bringing flowers in from my garden, organizing, reorganizing, maybe a little decorating, whatever, some way of being creative and finding some beauty and some joy in life is the best way. You might not feel so warm and fuzzy and feel as connected to some people that you'd like to, but that will shift as Mercury moves in to Virgo on the 25th, 26th, and then also Venus will move into Libra on the 5th of September. It owns Libra. It is all about beauty and the arts and socially connecting, and that's going to be very good for all of us and very good for you personally and us feeling, that connection and relationship, and also socially and collectively as well. So I want to thank you for being here. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Feel free to share this and go ahead and like it as well. If you're wanting to know how all this is working for you, you want your reading, the link is down below for a Soul Success Map reading, which is a full Vedic Astrology reading, also a Sacred Wealth Code reading. If you want to know what your Sacred Wealth Code is, you've got some different options there. Of course, you can grab the free quiz. There's some other free resources down below as well. Always want to help you along your path. And if you are a conscious woman visionary and you really want some deeper mentorship on how you can really understand your gifts, maybe discover your gifts, move your mission out into the world, understand what your purpose is, make that impact you're here to make, and do it in a way from the heart and from the inside out, and you want to work closely in some deeper mentorship, you can also apply for the Soulutionary Blueprint program. You'll find a link down there as well in the description for that, and love to have a conversation. You'll have a conversation with me and my team, and we'll see if that's the best next step for you. All right, so much love to you.